If you want results and change and transformation in your life, the reality is you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that is because our subconscious minds and our nervous systems are wired towards what is familiar. Even if what's familiar is hurting you, is causing you pain, suffering, is exactly what you want to get away from. Do you remember the story in the book of Exodus about Moses leading the Israelites through the Red Sea and into the promised land? Well, if you go back to that story, whether you believe that it is a literal story that happened historically or metaphorical, this is a story that has been woven into the collective subconscious. And so even if you just take the meaning that it has for you, there is much meaning in this story. The Israelites had spent generations, their whole lives, enslaved to the Pharaoh. No quality of life, no freedom, no choice. Okay, but what did they do? They cried out to their God for salvation, for freedom. And when they witnessed with their own eyes all of these miracles that were performed on their behalf, getting through the Red Sea, watching it part, and not only walking through it, but walking through it on dry land, and then watching this Red Sea swallow up their enemies. And now here they are on the other side, free for the first time in their entire lives. And what did they want? They wanted to go back to being enslaved, because where they were now was in a place of the unknown. And what their subconscious minds needed, what their nervous systems needed, was familiarity, was safety. So they wanted to go back to being enslaved. And that same truth, when you are transforming anything in your life, when you are wanting to manifest healthy relationships, manifest success, manifest any sort of desire that you have to understand that your subconscious mind is wired towards what is familiar, even if that's at your own expense. So as you are rewiring your mind, and that's essentially the only way to have lasting results, is to get to the point where you are rewiring those neural pathways in your brain that are geared towards familiarity. And what I will say is one of the biggest fears I hear from my clients is the fear of the unknown, because we have nothing to reference it against. But this is where we have the opportunity to see God come in, to see the universe come in, to see the divine come in, whatever your word is, to perform more miracles. And just like in that story, they had no idea where their resources were going to come from, and they came from the impossible. Moses gave thanks and struck a rock, and water poured out from the rock. So again, even if this is not a literal story, this has been woven into our collective subconscious. The divine will move mountains, make miracles happen for you if you have the faith and the trust in your divine power. If you have done the healing work, you've taken the courses, you've read the books, you've written the gratitude lists, and things are still not changing, there's something in the subconscious that is still wired towards familiarity. So I offer a 30-minute free consult call. You can ask all the questions you want. I can explain my process on how I help women like you finally get results and not just spin your wheels, actually break the patterns and not just be aware of them. You can schedule that. I'll link it below. And I will see you on the next video.